Now, in the next turn, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk to our imp advisor. The imp advisor will give us information.
Impressive battle, Commander.
Now, the imp advisor is telling us that we're actually doing pretty well, and that there is a new counselor added to the ship, Sir Falstaff Silvervein. He's added to the ship because this is the first dwarven country we actually conquered. So we're going to head up to the throne room to see what Sir Falstaff Silvervein has to say.
Commander, I demand that you deny this dwarf here the opportunity to speak to you. For what he wants to propose is so vile and depraved, it doesn't deserve your exalted attention.
Okay, so there's something that the dwarf is absolutely not happy about, so we're going to talk to the dwarf to see what he has to
Give
say.
it a rest, would you, Oberon? Dear Lord, you'll do yourself an injury if you don't let up. Now then, Commander, I am Sir Falstaff Silvervein, and I have come here as the ambassador of all dwarfs, tasked with the honor of offering you the hand of our most royal Princess Ida in marriage.
So he wants to offer us the hand of the dwarven princess Ida in marriage. In our case, this would be a very wise thing to do because we're trying to take over the dwarven countries and make sure that the dwarves revolt against Aurora. So we're going to go ahead and accept it. This, of course, will make the elf upset, but we're going to accept this anyway. Having accepted it gave us the dwarf attitude booster. This is a very handy card that we can play to increase the dwarf's attitude once something goes wrong somewhere. We're going to go over to the bar to talk to some of the other counselors we have on board. We got the undead counselor, so we're going to see what he has to say about the situation.
Unbelievable! You actually let your wife broken the sacred bonds of marriage for the sordid, secular sake of politics. May the one God have mercy on you, for such a sin can hardly be forgiven.
So it's clear that he's absolutely not happy with it. That's because he comes from a very fundamental religious background, so he's absolutely not happy with the fact that we're breaking our bonds with Lohanna and marrying Ida. But if we talk to the imp counselor to see what he has to say.
Dear me, Commander, you are a tough cookie, aren't you? If I had married a delicious piece of crumpet like Lohanna, I wouldn't have given her up for all the gunpowder in the world.
So the imp doesn't agree with our move as well, but he doesn't agree from a personal stand and not so much from a stand that reflects his faction attitude. So we're going to go to the princess and actually tell her what's going on.
Oh, darling, tell me the rumors aren't true. You wouldn't leave me for a dwarf princess, would you?
She's a nice person, so I'm going to reply with, if I did, I'd find parting with you beyond horrible.
Then don't. Simply don't. I know you'd be doing it for power, but the dwarfs will be won over some other way.
So we're going to head back to the war room and see what kind of effect this actually had on our current affairs. I'm going to access the strategy map. And as you can see right now, the countries that first were actually at peace with Aurora are now in revolt. So she won't be gaining any resources from these countries. And the countries that have factories, she won't be able to use those. But on the other hand, when we look at our elven country, that one is in revolt because we don't have enough military presence on it. And of course the elves were very much upset because we married Ada, the dwarven princess. So we're gonna attack Barad-dûr now with the units we have from Grimland. And I'm also going to use another card on this battle. I'm going to use the auto-target fire glands. These are special fire glands from the dragon that allow me to select multiple targets and also hit multiple targets. So I'm going to end the turn. And when we end the turn, you can see that Aurora is resupplying her lines, making some of her countries more fortified, and hopefully we'll win this battle. The last battle, we went in with a lot more firepower than they were defending with, but in this case, we're going to attack with a lot less than they're defending with. So this is going to be a bit tougher. Okay, so in this mission, if I can show you, In this mission there's a neutral base on the top which I'm going to take over and start using as a deployment base, and with those units I'm going to take care of the enemy base here. So I'm going to have my units move to the north, and I'm going to try to get close with my dragon and start attacking these enemy units. So I can already take care of some of them before my troops arrive. I still have some of the impulsors from last round, so I'm just going to use that. Take care of these guys. Alright, that's going well. And of course the fire glands, if I use that one, you can see that I can shoot multiple shots at once. It does more damage, but it works better against light units specifically. So I'm gonna take care of these hunters. Also worth mentioning is, like with any other RTS, we have a rock, paper, scissors mechanic going on, so some units are weaker against others but stronger against others. Like if I use my fighters to attack these tanks, the fighters will definitely take out the slow tank and they won't be hit by the bullets of the tank. So they're just going to take care of that guy. But what we're going to do now is we're going to select this base and send the builder to it. Now this builder is going to fly in and convert this base into a buildable area that we are going to use. In the meantime, I'm going to make sure my guys are lined up well, and I could actually fly in with the dragon and try to take care of one or two of their enemy artilleries or incoming fighters. As I said, when I'm using my multiple target select, the fire glands, that's really effective against the lighter units. I can just wipe them out in one or two hits. And I'm going to be taking care of this guy, maybe use one Impluster on him. And that should take care of that. Now we're going to go back to our strategy view and try to intercept these incoming fighters. At this moment the base is buildable now, so we're going to select it and first of all place some turrets here. This will fortify the base a bit more, so that actually I can take an incoming attack easier. And I'm also going to build a mine, maybe 2 mines, so I can get some money out of this. And at this situation I'm going to move my tanks back, because the enemy fighters got one of my tanks, and I'm going to send my hunters to take out these enemy fighters. I'm going to move these guys back again so I can intervene with my dragon. That should help me a bit. And I'm going to need a bit more space, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to select my platform and I'm going to add another southern platform to it, and I'm going to place more defenses on this, like you would do in a tower defense game, for instance. So I actually have a pretty safe base. The only thing the base is vulnerable against at this point is the artillery units, which I'm going to take out with my dragon, and I've got my imp busters, so I'm going to use them to take care of these guys. That takes care of that. Alright, this is excellent. This took care of this part. Okay, so the next thing we'll have to build right now is a factory, because then we can start building units, and we're also going to need a lab. So I'm going to build the laboratory, and once the laboratory is done, I can unlock a very special unit that's really going to help me tactically here, which is the artillery. And with the artillery I can start my march against their base. In the meantime, my base is actually strong enough to repel attacks that are coming. I have space for 1 or 2 turrets, so I could possibly add some turrets here. And I can send my guys in to attack. And I might as well just join in with my dragon. So that takes care of that. Okay, so we're gonna see if the lab is done. It looks like it's done, so I'm gonna select the lab and I'm going to choose to research the artillery. So this unlocks the artillery, which is really good, because when I access the factory, I can start building artillery units. So I'm gonna actually build a couple of these. Going to be really useful, and after they're built, once I have a bit more cash, that you can see on top, I'm going to start building fighters as well to accompany the artillery units. And the moment they come in, they're already active. I'm going to help them by taking out the enemy artillery as well. That's a good thing. Destroyed that, and the guys are holding out perfectly at the moment. The only thing I need to be afraid of at this point is enemy fighters, because the artillery is vulnerable against lighter and smaller units. Alright, so now that the whole bunch is here, I'm going to start selecting them and moving them forward. At this point it will be easier to access the other mode, because then I've got a better overview and I can zoom in and out faster. Now send these guys. Excellent. So we're doing well right now. I'll send them all in, and in the meantime I got a bit more cash, so I'm going to select the factory, build some fighters, and once they're built I'm going to send those in to help as well. So that is excellent. Also, an interesting feature that you might have noticed, when I have the dragon, I can actually spawn anywhere in the sight range of my units. It's a very good way to actually accompany them and be everywhere at the same time. But I can't use the dragon when I'm deep in enemy territory, because that would be cheating. And at this point we're moving in. I'm just going to move my dragon here so I can participate in the action. So I'm going to engage, and my own units are probably going to start hammering these guys anytime soon now. And again, we also have the imp busters, so I'm going to use those as well. That should take care of a lot of these guys. And of course, it's always useful to engage the enemy artillery. I'm going to go back to the strategy view so I can select my guys and have them perform more useful. Micromanage this situation a little. Yeah, focus the firepower. This is actually going pretty well. There is an enemy artillery coming in from the north. I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to take care of that personally with the dragon, so I'm going to move myself here, and he's already started firing. It's not good. So this is good, taking care of it. And I'm being stalked by the enemy defenses here. I'm just going to kick some ass here, left and right. And again, I still have, that was my last imbuster. I'm just going to use that as well. And at this point, we're pretty confident that we're going to win. Oh, they got me, they got me. So, I'm going to select these guys, have them take care of units, the anti-air cannons, maybe the front ones take care of the last remaining units. And of course I still have those fighters which I can send in as a backup. Weren't necessary anymore because we had a huge force. And as you can see, we pretty much successfully decimated the enemy fleet here. And again, we can just enjoy the sights and sounds of the level. Have it all sink in, you know. Also, another thing worth mentioning is we've written our own engine that we're also using for DOS, so everything is pretty much optimized for this type of gameplay. So we won this battle. We're gonna access the strategy map so we see the battle result, which is really good.